What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are ready for today. Hope you guys are not feeling anything like yesterday. What happened? What happened yesterday? Oh, that's a deep red candle. But what makes me happier is we got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Andy, Bill, Daniel. Good morning to you. Good morning to Emily, Frank, Jeffrey, Joe, Kevin, Marius, Martinez in the house. Good morning to Rob, Tim, Wendy, Williams. Good morning to Hostile in YouTube land. Hostile coming in a first place today. Clarice is slipping a little bit, but it's all right. Clarice doubled down on the good morning comment. So it's okay. It kind of all balances out. All my people in YouTube land, all my lurkers are just sitting in the background, not gonna say anything all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. David's in the house. Good morning to you. We got some tickets flying in already. Yeah, so last night and we had to sell off before this, but right around 5:30 p.m. Eastern last night, we had Trump talk tariffs again. We knew he was going to talk tariffs, and the market kind of was selling off a little bit ahead of time. But auto industry got hit so far the heaviest. Basically, it was revolving around that 25% tariffs to any car not made in the US, and the only one the only one that is actually made in the US is Tesla. So otherwise, like Ford has, I think, a decent amount made in the US. Other companies make some in the US. We're he said there was going to be some tariffs on some auto parts, so I think Tesla will get hit with some of that to come still. So I think we're not done yet, and it's not like Tesla's scot free, but every single company makes some or gets some of their parts internationally. So to some extent, every car will be affected, but there's a direct hit on pretty much cars not made in the US. And you're seeing some of the auto industry companies taking a little bit of a nosedive on that news. But SPY, big selling yesterday. We also had jobless numbers come in. Market kind of liked it, but not enough to really rally us higher. This key spot that I'm looking for is can we get a close really this week above this 200? We've had a great effort from the Bulls. We started to give back that nice gap up from Monday. We closed pretty strong underneath it. We closed in that 200, not opening in a really good location. The only thing is, do we open and just drop right away? I don't know that that's the case. We still have, again, if you want to make a bullish play, you have a little bit of okay, like risk to reward. So stop underneath that candle. If we never break it, we end up getting past that point. Great, fantastic, you're in. I don't know if that's the play I would be making personally. It's not a great close and nothing significant about this open that makes me really want to hop into things bullish yet. I'll tell you where I do want to hop in. That would be right here. We can get back into that price. That would be your deeper sell off. You're down another yeah, about $6 on that. That would be my target. You have good volume. This is where the rally really started. This would be a retrace back to it. There is another spot that we were talking about in the mastery day trade mastery group yesterday, and that would be if you want to start drawing some fibs on this one. If you are a perma bull like I am, uh, you're gonna look at two other levels on this, which would be somewhere right around the 50% retracement. So we hit that yesterday, 567.25. If we do start breaking the lows of the day from yesterday, the next spot that should get a little support, I would think, somewhere around 565.10. And then again, if we get a little oversell, overreaction, this is a VPOC on a key candle that has never been retested yet. So I would be looking see if we come down to like this 562 zone again eventually, and then maybe we could establish some bulls to get us up there. But we moved really quickly, really fast. It's almost like we thought tariffs were canceled, and they're not. So I think today there's going to be a little bit more selling pressure. Maybe get a candle or two, and maybe we already hit that pre-market. Let's see. So I'm looking for big resistance at this point, somewhere around 568.78. Did we hit this at all yesterday? 560. We got right into the 570, yeah, 569 zone. So we almost did hit that. Maybe we don't have that much of a bounce back at open, and we do get a little flushy flush. We'll see how those couple first candles look, but there is some more room to the downside, and it looks to me like there's Probably still a little bit more pressure to the downside, so I wouldn't be too antsy to get bullish quite yet. The Qs, same thing in the lower range, very low end of yesterday's candle. Not a great opening spot. Big resistance on this one, somewhere around 484.83. We'll see if we can get above that at all today. Otherwise, not much really holding us back to the downside into this 479.55, and then maybe we get into where I'd be looking for is about 478.80. See if we can establish any support there. Multiple levels, great retest spot if we get there. And then again, if we start breaking through that, watch out below. We have some more room for maybe a potential deeper sell-off. Otherwise, if we could bounce there, hang in, all right, there's still a shot even after everything. So we see Bitcoin, BTC, USD. So crypto land, we got Bitcoin chilling. Still above that 200, which is impressive. Qs and SPY couldn't achieve that. Bitcoin can. So right now, still a decent look, just sideways chop, nothing too crazy. We are at a slightly below key support. We want to recapture this 86,857 zone. If we could not do that, there's a few spots that could hold us up. The next one, 86,298. I don't think that's a major one. I think your bigger one comes in at 85,816. Anything past that, and then we probably will break that 200 and get down to like this 84,978. So a little bit of chop in crypto world. I see a lot of tickers coming in, so we'll get to a bunch of those now. If you guys got any others, let me know. Ray says rug pull. I don't know if it's a rug pull. I don't know if we had a rug pull specifically. Um, it's not like the sell-off came out of nowhere, and we're still like if we start breaking new pivots again, then you're gonna see some much deeper sell-off. You're gonna see that worry just kind of come right back in. As of let's say Tuesday, the sentiment shifted like crazy to hey, we were back to bullish on a lot of things. Yeah, Tuesday. And I don't know why, but I can't figure out what day of the week it is anymore. I think that's a problem. I don't know. We got Meta is not looking good. It's a retest gap, but I'm not loving the location it's in. So if this thing can wiggle a back above prior to open 605.85, then I think I'd be more interested in the retest. Otherwise, I'd be looking for a little bit of a pop, get rejected somewhere around 606.32. And I see a really good target down to like 594 on Meta. So I like it to the short side. We just got to figure out how to get into it, what those opening candles are, and then where we open. But I think we have a little bit more room. That's still about $8 and $9 to the downside on Meta. But again, maybe we get a little push first. Give me something. And that would be a really good target to the downside. I'd probably be all out by then. We got Amazon, AMZN. Closing right at the 200. So trying to keep that bullish hopium alive. Only problem with that one is that VPOC. VPOC closing below the last 2 days. That's going to cause probably a little bit more panic, a little bit more people losing. If you start breaking underneath that candle from Monday, that would probably trigger a little bit of a bigger pullback into, I think 195.75 would be your next target. The good thing about Amazon is number one, the close. We still close above the 200. I can't say that about a lot of other things. Although today we're opening underneath it, not great. And then you do have some support coming in. We next immediate target I think would be 199.69. I think that's probably a spot that could break. You do have some support around 199.05. Again, I think that gap fill would be a key one, but it looks a little bit stronger than some of the other names, so there might be better opportunities to short elsewhere. And you could get caught up in some of these big moves. Yesterday, realistically, on a lot of these names, or the SPY, let's say, we were only down like 1.6% for the day, so it wasn't like a dramatic sell-off. It felt bigger. Because it was just all day selling. There's nothing really crazy happening, but we'll see how this holds. But I don't think it's time to go bullish on Amazon quite yet. I'd rather lean short or just be patient if you're trying to be bullish. See if you get a little bit lower on this one. See if you can fill that gap on the Zon. But yeah, I like it to the short side. We got AVGO. VIX didn't go up too much. Yeah, not yet. Once you start breaking some pivots, then you'll see the VIX move. But for right now, we've had a really strong rally. Even though it feels weird and there's tariffs and all this, we're still at the 50% retracement of that last prior move. AVGO, not a. Somebody was asking me about swing trades. I don't know if you're here. Kevin's in the house, but somebody was asking me about swing trades yesterday, uh, or this morning actually. But this is what I like to see. This causes really good direction, and I should have played this one yesterday. I didn't take this one for a day trade. We had two other plays. What kind of kept me away a little bit was the fact that we're still above the 200. That could have came in. We had some room, but even to that, really good room in here to make some money. I don't think I would have held it till the end of the day. I probably would have taken targets in worst case right around here. So I wouldn't have captured that entire move. I rarely do. But all of that consolidation, it's looking like it trying to hold really nicely all above that 200. And then you have this gap down. Clear retest. We did talk about this one yesterday. Some of you guys, I think Wendy took this one yesterday. So congrats to Wendy. But I should have taken this one too. This was an obvious one. But usually when you get those type of gap downs, retest, the break, you're also closing yesterday's VPOC below all other VPOCs. You tend to have more room to the downside. I've got my target right around here. That takes me into 171.59. If we start to break down, not great. We're actually in a squeeze right now. If that momentum starts to shift bearish, that's even worse for it. So be careful on AVGO. I don't think it's time to buy the stock. I would like to probably continue to keep the gas pedal on the short side of things. Maybe you get a retest, so you are at the very end or very low end of yesterday's candle. I think if you get any retracement into 179.54, that's where I would not mind establishing a short on this one. So retest that VPOC, and then I think we get that rollover. I'm going to keep that one on a high watch list today. Let's watch that one. But I think you get that continuation. But for swing trading, that's what you want to see. You want to be able to get into those trades that break lots and lots of consolidation. Usually the momentum just kind of follows through, and it's usually a few days of selling as opposed to a quick little flip. Baba, looking a little bit different than some of the rest of the market. We have a little bit of a gap up on this one. Again, nothing too crazy. We are just sitting slightly above a resistance. That's not bad. And it is a gap and go. I've been looking for maybe a push into 134.69. I'm not expecting an absolutely incredible move out of this one today, but you could get another $10, $20, something like that to the higher side. You should be trapping some bears. Again, you have some of those moving averages continuing to the downside. Probably a little retrace. You have that 20 that did block us yesterday, might do that again. If we can get above it, the key spot on this one I'm looking for 135.19. That would be my extended target to the bullish direction today. But if we could close above it, that might set us up where we could start to continue that bullish pop. Maybe come up into close some of these gaps at least 143.59. But interesting location. It is a gap and go. Maybe something, I don't know. I don't have enough here to say this is a swing trade that I would really like to have. But maybe I think you get another, like I said, $1.20, something like that out of it. We got NVIDIA, NVDA. Dude counted where he was coming in that lineup of comments. Dude came in at number 6, he says. Okay. All right, let me take some of these lines off. And NVIDIA chips were very weak yesterday, kind of leading the rally to the downside. A lot of these things are gapping. AMD is also continuing to gap down. This, I don't know. Yates was telling me he put out a message in Slack yesterday saying 111 is kind of where he expects the low to be. Well, if that's the case, you're only at 77 cents above it, 70 cents away from that target. So, and he's saying if it breaks 111, he's expecting further downside. I kind of agree with that. We have, I think, sitting somewhere around 111.47. If we can't hold that, we start getting closes below that one. The next target down for me is 109.08 and then all the way back to 107.24. So That's still a decent amount of room to the downside. If we start breaking that candle, we start getting any closes below 170, well, 107.29-ish. You have down to like 104.83, just psychological, but I think all that starts to break down after that nice move that we've had. So looking a little bit weak. It is a retest gap today, and you are slightly above that next support. So almost give me like a little high wave candle. Even though it looks bearish, I might look and play this one as a fade today. I think you have some room up to like 113.65. So, and then I'll stop looking bullish if we just get candles that start closing below this 111.47. So we'll see how this one sets up. Again, kind of looking a little bit weak, but I wouldn't mind attempting a little bit of a fade on this one. Or if you want to come in short, probably probably not here out of the gate unless you get those candles that start closing below that level. Otherwise, the better spot too short would be somewhere around 113.65 on Nvidia. Let's also check out AMD since we're in the same category, but you have um, what should have been a really good retest spot. We're opening below it. Market makers are doing the hard work already. Otherwise, yeah, if we were coming down, that's where my target would have been. Now at this point, I think we probably end up coming a little bit lower, and yeah, even that volume candle. Where's the real volume? That one right there was the next one. Next real volume candle. Give me a bounce somewhere around 104.89. Let's see if that's your bounce spot. So again, you could try to play it to the short side. You're looking kind of weak. You are sitting right above that 20 EMA. I think you might have another roughly dollar 20. I think I'd rather wait, see if we get down into somewhere in that zone, and then try to play that fade. Um, I don't. I think I'd rather play a fade on Nvidia than AMD, even though this is a little bit of a wider move. Unless you start, but because there's going to be some kind of resistance, maybe right around 107-ish. If we start breaking 107, I'd be way more interested in playing this for a full little fade up to probably 10 109.55, something to that extent. But not a great look on AMD. SMCI, we're getting all the chips today. SMCI is looking rough. Looking rough. Next support. I don't think it's a great one. It's an okay one, I guess. Uh, line in the sand is this candle, this price, 35.56. We had some volume that came in. Decent, okay volume. Otherwise, the next spot on this one, targets for today, 31.71 if this one can't hold. So let's see. It is a retest gap. Again, probably not the best too short right out of the gate on this one. Do we come in for a full-on retest? I don't know. If we do, I'd probably stay away from the short. That would be somewhere around 37.04, unless it's going to be for day trade purpose. If you're trying to play longer term, buy puts, something like that, you could probably establish a position somewhere around this 37.13 with some time. As a day trade, you'd be running against the clock at that point, I think. Probably looking just for some resistance, 36.48. If that could hold, you start getting rejected there. I think that might be your better play for a day trade purpose. Let's get that one higher on the list too. Oh, Lulu reports after the bell today too. See how that goes. We got Tesla. So Tesla getting a looks a little bit different than some of the other auto companies out there today. Obviously, with the tariffs, Tesla made in America, so that's actually probably a positive for Tesla. Again, you have the other shoe to drop, which is the parts, auto parts, and that one is probably that will affect Tesla to some extent. But any auto under pressure, Tesla does look a little different, a little bit of a gap up, not much. You got about a dollar and about a dollar right now. Depends on the tick, but it's holding. I guess you are above that 20 still. You're still at some decent support. If Tesla starts dropping back below 271.77, it might be wise to get some protection, some put if you have some or play it short if you're day trading. But next target down would be somewhere around this 263.09, and then I think you have a good one right around 260.47. And I wouldn't put it past us that we come all the way back almost look to fill this gap, and that would take us into like 251. So a lot of room to the downside if this one fades, or if this one continues to drop lower. It's not at a amazing spot at open. If we could open or we start climbing anywhere above 273.25, I still don't know that I want to play it to the long side today, unless the rest of the market looks like it just out of nowhere starts to rally, then maybe. But I think your final target on this one for a day trade is about 278.83. And we got some work to do even to get to that spot, and it's not a huge move. So I think you do have more risk to reward to the downside than to the bull side for today. But let's see how that one. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if you get some kind of crazy candle at open, and like as Tesla would normally do. But watch this spot 271.77, and if that does not hold, continue pressure to the downside. Let's see. Wendy says that looks good for a swing on SMCI. Let's go back to that one. Yeah, lots of consolidation, breaking down. I kind of like it for a swing too. Yep. Yep. And even as the market just rallied the last couple days, this one just stayed put, didn't really do much, so you didn't really have the same buying sentiment. You still got that protection of that 200 coming in on you. So if the market continues to come down, SMCI didn't really show that the bulls were there to play. Forex, we could look at Forex if you want, but give me a ticker that you want me to pull up. We got Pan W, Palo Alto. For the moment, you have a little two bar reversal up here. So again, if we were to just kind of recreate those two candles, redraw them out, you have your open here, you have a close here, you have a lot of basically a wick here. That would essentially be a big old bull trap on this one. Um, I like it to the downside. You probably need to retest on this one first because it is looking a little in a chopped spot right now. Let's see. We got, yeah, if this one can get bid up, the I think a really interesting spot to look short would be somewhere around this 185.40. I don't know if we get there though. We might only get into the 184.72 zone, and that would also be a good spot to go short. Otherwise, if I was to go short at open, it is technically a retest gap from yesterday. Even with those combined two candles, it's really just a hammer that probably ends up getting retested anyway. Um, and then you have your immediate support somewhere around 182.84. That's just, and yeah, you almost hit that now. Next one after that would be 182.09. So you don't really have a ton of room unless all these things just quickly get taken out. But for right now, just kind of chilling and hanging out. See if this one wants to pop back up first. I think if you start clearing, yeah, and you still have some support down here, you still got your 200. I think though, for day trade purpose, anything under 182.13, and then maybe you don't get that retest and you just get a little bit more of a flush on it. But it's a little choppy. I kind of like it longer term for a swing to the downside, but it just depends on how you can get into this trade. If you could get up a little bit higher, and let me get this ticker a little bit higher as well. Let's go here. If you could get this one a little higher, that might be worth maybe a swing trade. Your stop is probably somewhere around 191.15. I don't know if you guys remember, but Trump is in the White House, and he does like to throw out some tariff talk. He likes to pull back the tariff talk. He likes to, so swing trading becomes a little difficult. But right now the pressure looks like it is to the downside. Try to get the best pricing that you can, and then take some gains, take some shares off, take some options off as they're in the money. Uh, don't always probably hold in this choppy market everything directly to targets. If you get your stops to break even, that's a good place to be. We'll see. Uh, when he says he is competing with SMCI for Hot Mess Award. Well, we'll see how the 4 years go. Right, it's still early. Got some early just shakeups on things, but we'll see how it all pans out. Um, if we get more plants and things like that in the U.S., great. Other countries get affected. We Americans get affected. So, but we'll see if there's any relief to it. The one thing I think he said with the auto tariff is he's like it will last until I'm no longer president. So essentially, a 40 like he's not planning on removing the auto tariffs anytime soon. Carvana, CVNA. Well, we'll see. Again, all we could do is just go off the current news that we have, the current market sentiment, play what's in front of us. But once you start getting into like, okay, I think this is the future outcome, and we start going heavy on something, you don't want to be wrong in a certain situation. So we can only play the markets that are given to us. But we got Carvana that is it's a retest gap, add a little bit of support. Again, see if you get some kind of a bounce on this one. If you're looking to go short, the better spot to do 206.37. If you could get into that retest. Didn't really drop as much. Yeah, I don't love the fact though that this candle VPOC got taken out. We will see. Um, choppy still. I think choppy at best. Any closing past this 239, I think we have a little bit more sentiment to the downside, retesting at least that 200, somewhere around 188.87, with potential really into the candle you really want to see hold up is 185.65 if you're bullish. If you're bearish, that's the one you want to see break down. All of the rest, there is some support in here, but I think that could most likely get taken out once this one is. So we will see. Lou says, check Deer. Deer is hanging out for now. Probable continuation. Hold on, are we gapping or anything like that? Because I don't see the pre-market. It looks like we're just opening kind of flat from where we closed. Yeah, it looks good. That is a good close that we had yesterday. Maybe a decent high wave candle if you're trying to go bullish. This is still holding up nice. Coca-Cola had a really good day yesterday. Deer again, a little bit more of a safety play than just going with tech. Higher risk. Deer, I think, is a little bit of a subtle risk play to kind of keep your money through some just chop times. I think your immediate target on this one is 488.76 with potential back up to like 495. So if you get to that 495 point, doesn't usually have big candles, although lately we've been putting in some decent ranges. But high wave candle, if you want to try to day trade this one, swing trade, I think looks decent. You do have a little bit of a downtrend here, so just consolidating. If you get that break, that would look fantastic. My goodness, how is that the morning bell already? Let me do coin real quick. And coin is again, Bitcoin's a little bit choppy. I would assume Coinbase is as well. This one's almost closing that gap. You got a gap somewhere around 189.86. I think I like it better to like 187.58 if you're trying to play that one to the long side. Otherwise, a little bit of pressure, but some support holding us. Other than that, everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you've not done so already. That went quick. That was a quick one today, but you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.